We are Islamic Republic, Part 43. In 1917, the British House of Commons was told of the government's intention of giving Indians a much greater say in the government. Sources say Britain promised Indians a share in government. The policy of His Majesty's government, with which the government of India are in complete accord, is that the increasing association of the Indians in every branch of the administration and the gradual development of self governing institutions with a view to progressive realization of the responsible realization of responsible government in India as an integral part of British Empire. It was written by E.S. Montag, MP Secretary of State for India, House of Commons, 20 August 1907. 1917, I beg your pardon. However, the announcement went to emphasize that the process will be gradual, I beg your pardon, please, and that the pace of the change would be decided entirely by the British. Not surprisingly, Indian nationalists were not satisfied. They feared the British would use delaying tactics. Why did the Montag-Chelmsford report cause so much anger? Indian fears were correct. In 1918, Edwin Montag, Secretary of State for India, and Lord Chelmsford, Viceroy of India, put forward plans which became Government of India Act 1919. For the first time, a government document suggested that Indians might one day have self government. The trouble was that these reforms were very limited, and for the immediate future, most power was still in the hands of the British government and its viceroy. The Government of India Act 1919 provided for national parliament with two houses, Council of State and Legislative Assembly. The Legislative Assembly would have 144 members, of whom 103 would be elected. The two houses would pass laws and talk about the budget. The Viceroy, appointed by the British government, could veto, block any decision, and bring in any law he thought necessary. Provincial legislative councils, the majority members to be elected. Diarchy, a system by which some powers were reserved and controlled by the governors of the provinces appointed by the viceroy. Other powers were transformed, other powers were transferred to the provincial legislative councils. About 5.5 million wealthy Indians out of 250 million allowed to vote. Separate electorates for Hindu and Muslims were provided. A commission to meet after 10 years to decide whether India was ready for further concessions. Diarchy powers that were reserved or transferred powers under the control of Indian Ministry, Education, Health Services, Agriculture, Local Government, Public Works. Reserved powers under the control of Viceroy and Executive Council, Law and Order, Finance and Tax, Judges and Courts, General Administration and Civil Service. This was not democracy, as it was certainly not the self government that the people had been demanding. The power to make policy decisions stayed firmly in the hands of the Viceroy and his executive councils. Congress, led by Mahatma Gandhi, bitterly attacked the proposals, and the final act of parliament that set up the new system. They were furious at the slow pace of the British in giving Indians real power in the government.